All right. So obviously we'll be live on X as well. I would head over to the YouTube though if you don't want a delay. There's going to be basically no delay on YouTube. You can watch on X, but you're going to likely have a decent delay on X. So head over to the YouTube. I threw the link up top for you guys. Super easy to find. And we're going to be on there for the rest of the day. I'll end up closing the spaces in the next like 5-10 minutes or so. So yeah, we'll see you guys over on the stream. Peace out. What's up, stream? What's up, Tommy? What a sell off into these HLOs. We just hit them on NQ. There they are. Oh my gosh, this has gotten nasty. Tommy, what are we doing? Let me bring up my screen on here. Give me a second. I didn't play any of this, Tommy. Hey, let's go, Justin. What a move. Sweep a previous day high. And this daily imbalance. Damn. Oh, you're good, Tommy. That was pretty. Oh, were you on this the whole time? Very nice. Very nice. I need to retweet this from my account. And I still need to throw on some music. Yeah, what a crazy up and down. Was all bullish this morning. Was all looking juicy. And then they just completely flipped things around. Line in the sand again was that 2350 on NQ for me. We ran through that, and I was like, oh, that's not good. Trying to get 714. Very nice. Where's my... And dang it. Why can't I hear anything? Ah, that's why. There we go. Oh, we're just displacing. There's an old inverse here on the hourly. How old? I mean, I have untapped hourly. You have untapped hourly. Wait. Yeah, I'm on the hourly. On both. I mean, you're in 4 hours as well. It's really just 4 hour on ES here. Got to hold this or else we're going to session lows from, what is this? Yeah, yesterday. That is nasty. All right, y'all. We're over on the stream. I'm wrapping this up. If you're on the spaces and you want more content, click that link up top, and yeah, we'll see you over there. Peace out. No sort of SMT. Hey, Tom Crown, what's up? Oh, 10.5. Goldilocks. Another new all-time high day. Does not care. It's slow on the intraday, but gosh, AMD holding up and not selling off as much, but still taking a dip. Tesla got smoked. Bigger time frame. We're not even at previous day low. Nothing's moving that crazy here. Just AMD up 6%. I keep getting kicked out of the spaces last few days. I've heard people like saying there's been issues. I don't know. I also accidentally rugged it the other day, but I didn't even do anything. I was just like, we were just listening to Pal. First day of California rain, and spaces got rugged. So that was yesterday. Yo, what's up?
Did you invite a bunch of people?
I sent some invites, yeah.
I on here cannot look. Did you send Tom Crown an invite?
Hold on. I gotta turn my music down. Couldn't hear you.
If you send me the link, I can send out some, but on this one, I cannot. What is up, YouTube? How we doing, chat?
Hold on.
Let me say the title too, because when I first joined, it was.
I know. Well, the market was. I did that earlier, and the market was cooking, and then we turned around.
You want
I
to know?
didn't mean to just type UG. I just needed to do that so it would pop up on my MacBook, so I could send you the link.
No, can you do me a favor? Can you put it in quotes? That's what you have to do.
Oh, my bad. I see.
Yeah.
I see.
What I will say is pretty cool in the description now. If you go over and take a look, we got some prop firm codes finally.
Oh, let's go.
Code Wolf. We got it. WOLF at Tradify, Elite Trader Funding, Alpha Futures, and Top 1 Trader.
Boom.
And some more. Apex may be coming soon.
We got that on Alpha Futures?
Yeah.
Fire. So yeah, guys, use code Wolf for any of the prop firms you guys are using, any of the ones that were listed there. Alpha Futures is one that I use every day, as well as Tradify. So those two definitely take advantage.
All right, we get.
You say top one? Top one's another good one, from what I've heard.
Right now, we're early days. We got Tradify, Elite Trader Funding, Alpha Futures, and Top 1 Trader, and code Wolf at all of them. We were like stingy. We were like, listen, no.
Boom.
There
we go.
Dang. Corner 3. Dagger.
That's a swish right there. The fact that we have that now. Let's go. That's huge. All right. Well, bouncing off this hourly for value. Get a little itty bitty inverse. Why does my trading view do this? Dang it. I got reload. Hold on. And come on. There we go. We good. All right. Bet. The smallest inversion you've ever seen in your life. Bullish displacement through that. Bullish displacement through the change in the state. Hello. Sorry, guys. My computer just sucks. So there we go. That's why. Why did it switch to RTY? My computer's all jacked right now, guys. I don't know what's happening. Apologize. Can I just look at a 15-minute time frame, please? Thank you.
You got the invite out to Rizzo, right?
Yes.
Nice.
Okay. My chart's really going to start pissing me off. There we go. Lordy. Definitely rebalance to that. I'm loving my exit. Let's go, Tommy. Good stuff. What's the news? We were doing so good this morning. To be honest, I haven't seen anything, but I also haven't been looking super diligently for any big news. But to me, this is just price action. And whether, yeah. I just see this as delivery from a daily imbalance, news or not. Swept previous day high, which was also right around London high, into this zone, which is the zone where we expect sellers to come in until we run through, right? Which never happened. But if we were to just pump and just ran through this area, that 161, I would have really had to change my thoughts on a bigger time frame on whether or not like we're more bearish in this area. Come on, computer.
Can we look at some single stocks? Or are you trading right now actively? You're not going to.
No, we can look at single stocks as soon as my computer loads. I don't know what's going on. It's being all crappy. I know I have a lot of tabs open, but I always have a lot of tabs open.
I could also share a little if you wanted.
Yeah, here, go ahead.
No, I need to. I prefer not to, but I can.
AMD is the one that's really doing anything today. Still holding up well too, even with the market trying to sell off a bit. It's definitely coming in, but holding up much better. I don't think there's anything to worry about until. Oh, yeah, there's nothing. We just ran through all this and we're back testing it. There's nothing to worry about, in my opinion.
What's that noise? What's that notification mean for you?
Which notification? Ding. That?
Oh, we got a Maple Stacks.
That's Slack.
Maple Stacks.
Yo, what's up, Maple?
No way we get Maple coming in and chilling with us.
AM Dizzle. A bigger time frame I still really like. And one of the names that are really only holding up in my watch list, given the market kind of coming in here. So back testing a spot I like. When this 4-hour candle ends up closing, we'll likely make another imbalance here, which I'd like to potentially see traded back into and then move higher.
Maple says 3M 920 EMA test for shorts here and Q. I can't pull up chats on the screen.
Oh yeah, we're right in that spot. I imagine. I can imagine that there's a 9 and 21 on my screen right now. Utilities and staples leading this morning was a red flag. Yeah. Ooh, I don't like the way that looks. We need to change the way this looks. How do I do this? There we go.
That's better.
That's better. Yeah. Yeah, not the best, huh? Well, LES. What is his name? Been running.
And running.
I have no idea what this is or what kind of news might be coming out on it, but definitely some big movement here. I don't really have too many thoughts, to be honest. I mean, if we're getting delivery from this imbalance on this bigger monthly time frame, the next spot I see is into these two highs. Then you got to be a little careful. But ultimately, over these highs, if you see continued displacement, it's into those all-time highs. This is on a bigger time frame, though.
I'd be curious. Actually, Jordan, one thing I do want to ask chat: if any of you guys do trade prop firms, what do you guys use? That's what I want to know. What prop?
I'd love to hear that too.
And Kevin, LEU has been flying for me. It did pull back a little bit intraday. LEU was up to like 450 at some point. But those commons have been going crazy.
Okay, there's something genuinely wrong with my computer today.
And look how quick that was, dude. We're on ultra low latency. Love to see it. Okay, so big top step guy.
Oh my gosh. What's going on? Trying to bring up LEU. Want to look at it.
Alpha Futures. Okay. So we got code Wolf at Alpha Futures. I'm glad to hear that one's popular. Top Step and Take Profit Trader. Okay, Take Profit Trader is one we'll get.
Yeah, LEU in those 420s.
Honestly, we have a good clout. We're going to make sure we get you guys the best codes too. Wonderful codes.
Yeah.
Let me know if there's codes better than ours.
I can't do much with this LEU, but obviously if you're in it, I know you, Evan, you said I think you're in it.
My cost basis is like 160 or something.
Most I can say is
176. I'm just looking for my point to take the profits.
Yeah, most I could say is watch out into 526 if we end up trading there. That could be the spot where this maybe see some rejection. That is not far, is it? On this daily.
Running.
Check MVTS. Let's take a look.
Navitas.
Oh yeah, nice day, nice week so far.
What was
73% on the week?
Magnifies the latest candle. That's actually really cool. I'll give it that.
So that's a 4-hour candle. Whatever time frame.
That's for the last candle that you're on.
So like I could be on a 1 minute, a 5 minute, a 15 minute, and it's always going to show me this 4-hour candle. Whatever.
Yes, you were right. Hit that like button. I appreciate you being here.
I can also change it to whatever candle you want. It could be a daily, monthly, whatever time frame. It's the best. Who's here?
That was cool.
Let him in. Oh, nah. How about nah? How about nah? How about nah? Fuck that. Keep you in jail.
What's up?
What's up?
I had to jump on a little meeting there.
How'd it go?
Good.
Good, solid meeting. Some interesting things coming really soon. So if you're a future trader, especially,
bro, we got the code Wolf on all these prop firms in the description. So love that. Let's go.
yeah, there's a big team tournament thing coming up real soon. That we got some stuff in the works. That hey, Spaces crew, X crew, Stream crew, whatever you want to call it, Wolfpack. We might have a little team put together and a little trading competition. I'm just teasing that out there. So we'll see. We'll talk some more about it tonight.
I'm
excited. On some music here.
Yeah, you know the reason we're gonna win is because we have Mia on the team. Oh, squad. Little one lower, maybe.
Yeah. Emp, you want to share screen? I want to go make a burrito real quick.
Nope, you gotta tell us the burrito. Oh no, I need the webcam coming. I need.
What do you need?
I need you to take the webcam with you, and I want to watch you make a burrito.
No.
Take a lunch break live stream.
No. Not downstairs. You're staying up here. What I can give you is bounce off this beautiful hourly spot, sweeping these lows from yesterday. Sweeping Asia low. But I wouldn't be so sure that it's a full reversal.
Brent's right. At least. Look, mukbang. Well, he said mukbang. I believe it's mukbang.
Mukbang. It's mukbang.
We need Evan to turn on his webcam. That's fair. We should and put yourself on top of me. Oh Jesus, that sounds wrong.
Oh, clip that. Clip.
We need a burrito making live stream. Pause. Yeah, that was rough.
I'll be back. Here.
I got it. I'm just sending out some other invites. All right. Well,
Fed's Waller is moving so fast. We'll see the job losses. So fast, we'll see job losses before we see new jobs. Wow, that's actually quite the statement from Waller.
All right.
BMNR is having a little bit of a rough day, but it's okay. If you're gonna make
invite for the live stream, he's along with me down here.
Stockonomics.
What's up, chat?
Stockonomics giving us a little pitch for serve. O'Hara. I can't see the profile picture, but I believe that's the guy we know. XP exclusive.
Yeah, Will.
TSM earnings tonight will determine more of a move. TSM also comes out. Those numbers come out at like 1 a.m. too, so a little interesting. I didn't really get the chance to dig too deep into ASML.
Hey, so it's Code Wolf got set up?
Yeah, so I am 99% sure we have Code Wolf right now at Tradify, Elite Trader Funding, Alpha Futures, and then Top One Trader. $6662. One too many sixes there. Is 8 EMA and 21 EMA is 6648 for SPX. Gotcha.
Sorry, we got a brand new restream here, so like the colors are all like weird right now.
Yeah, well, this is a test stream. This is a test stream, and right now it's curious about those platforms you're talking about. I have no idea, honestly. Any answers to that? Sorry. Right now, I think it's just Tradify, Alpha Futures, Top One Trader, and then Elite Trader Funding.
There's tons in process. Gotcha. By the way, we're trying to get you guys the best discounts possible across the board.
Discounts, wonderful discounts,
great discounts.
You know, are prop firms even good? We'll find out. But I know a lot of you use them.
A lot of prop firms, great prop firms, the best.
I mean, if you're gonna prop, you might as well do it on the best ones.
I think it'd be really cool. This we'll talk later, Evan, but this tournament thing we're talking about, really cool. Let's see what let's kind of see what's going on in the market here a little bit. We are break even on SPY. You're gonna see a yellow line right here. This is where we filled the gap. SPX, it's a little bit more clear because you don't have the pre-market and overnight stuff, but that's where we filled the gap right there on SPX and SPY. We also did on NDX, QQQ. We're getting a nice bounce. I really would love to see us get back to this upper area of yesterday. Your QQQ trader, it's going to be 601 to 602. You can see this big volume kind of node right here. And then let's see, let's take a look at NQ and that same thing. We basically just did a golden retrace from yesterday's move, by the way. From here up to here, yesterday's low to today's high. There's your golden retrace. We're back over the midpoint. So your next 850 is your next target on that.
I don't see the Twitter Spaces so often anymore. Are they still there? Yeah, we're always live. Twitter, a lot of Twitter Spaces. And then honestly, I think it might start to turn into Twitter Spaces into live stream in the afternoon. Slowly going that way. Tom, why don't you come up?
This oh yeah, we can send Tom an invite for sure. This
everything's bullish if you believe hard enough. Now
yeah,
let's get our real trader to tell us the answer.
I don't think there's a real answer right now. I don't think it's clear either way. Bull market is still very clear. Obviously we had the big stop. Your daily EMAs are both right here. We spent a decent amount of time above them today. We've come back a little bit below them. We're still above yesterday's close and basically where we closed the other day. So we're not in a terrible spot. QQQ above the 21. Here's your 20 simple and your 9 EMA. I mean 601 area. If you close up there, you're fine. I don't see a problem with this chart right now, but like as long as you're in this zone, it could get real like which way does the market want to go right now? Earnings season just like starting to breathe on us a little bit, you know, sitting right there on the back of the neck. So we'll obviously got a lot of stuff coming up. Shout out Earnings Hub. This week, not a whole lot. Tonight, so it's Wednesday, right? Tonight, this says before the open, but Taiwan Semi, this will be probably around like, I don't know, I'm trying to remember what time they came out last time, but it was pretty early in the evening.
Click in, see if it says it. 1 a.m.
It says 1 a.m., but I want to say they were a little bit earlier than that last time. I can't remember for sure. But
on the Q2 one, click you see the green thing, positive result, click positive move. Up, down, in the green box. So that should show what it did last time, like the actual move the day before and the day after, which I find interesting. They just added that.
Cool, yeah, before earnings and after earnings.
And scroll down, it should have that for every single one. Yeah. Look where it says, but look on the right side where it says like positive moves.
Okay, yeah, look, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. So if you're on the East Coast, you'll probably be asleep, but if you're a degen overnight trader like Rizzo, you'll get it. But that's my point was you do have that. That's a big kind of AI chip semi catalyst possibly overnight tonight to keep your eyes on. We start to really crank up going into here. Let me just go back to the week by week view. Next week, you start to pick up a little bit. Look, Tesla first dip into the Mag 7 a little bit. Netflix is a lot of people kick off into tech earnings a little bit there, but it's 2 weeks out, and then things get real exciting. This right here is crazy, Evan. We're going to be super busy. Microsoft, Meta, Google, all 3 of those on one day, and then Amazon, Apple the next the next day, plus Coinbase MSTR. And a bunch of other big names in here. This is 10 billion plus is what I have on here as the
and by the way, I'm going to be back in half a second.
You're good. We got a nice bounce going here on NQ. So like I said, we hit that golden retrace. I can clean this up a little bit. Let me see what I want to do here. Let me just hide a couple of these other fib retracements so you can see just this action. So yesterday's low to today's high, golden retrace, back through the midpoint. Your next target is up here, 850. Once you get through 850, then you really look for the IB low, possibly this 876 low. And you're going to come into the 21. But this is a nice bounce. I was speaking on Spaces earlier. I don't know how many of you guys were listening on Spaces. I figure most of you probably were. The SPX, once we lost this the 6,700 whole level up here, which if you look left, 6,700, and you see resistance, turned into support, obviously crushed through it. Today we got over it, but when we came back down right here and we couldn't hold it, you see how these candles were coming down, and then once we couldn't hold it, immediately, I mean, just look how this like opened up right below it, and then just acceleration, back test, bear flag, and then really rug down there.
So this pullback is bullish. The first comment I see, it is because I'm long.
I literally left that up here the entire time until you showed up to address it. NVIDIA is an interesting one that's going on right now, Forbes, because we're seeing some news and headlines and maybe a possible narrative that other players are in the game, I guess would be the term. I mean, they're not going to be in NVIDIA, but there's, you're seeing AMD, what AMD is doing. You're seeing some of these other companies, Intel and stuff, saying they're kind of trying to produce their own. It's not going to be the best, but can they get by with producing some of their own or using some AMD for some stuff? Obviously, there's people way more versed in that than me, but I'm just the guy that gets to host all the smart people all day and trade around it. So that's NVIDIA is interesting, though. But yesterday, just of note, NVIDIA yesterday did nothing, and the market still was pushing really nicely without NVIDIA. So a couple different things. Stockonomics says not necessarily. Yeah, I don't know if this pullback's necessarily, and that's kind of my comment too. I think I agree with that a lot. I don't know that there's an inherently bullish or bearish thing going on right now. When you look at the bigger picture of things, here, let me hide drawings, just make this simple. I mean, we could hang out all in this box. We could even come up here a little bit higher, but this box right here could be a volatile ride for a little bit until we kind of pick a direction. But what I have to say is, if you look at the bigger trend of things, I mean, big pullback, bounce back, hold the low, and push back. I mean, if this closes back above, so like here's the 9 EMA, the blue one, 20 simple. If we close above those today on the NASDAQ, that's a good look to me. If we close above that, I mean, I don't think if you're closing above all the moving averages, I don't think you can be upset. SPY back over the 21 or SPX SPY, either one. If you close up here, I would probably say if you're able to close here today, 66.75 or higher on SPX, I think that is necessarily bullish. Look at this long that's playing out so nicely. $850 was the next spot I had there, Rizzo. I don't know what you're looking for.
Over
850 and then like
looks good.
Yeah, I think we're going to get back into that volume note of yesterday, back to that 910. Hitting the 21 right here, so you kind of got to be careful, maybe trim.
I know I'm not on Spaces all day, but last I was on, I said EOS is going to drop another 50 handles lower. And that's where we bought it.
And it's what happened, huh? Yeah, it's like 890 is the bottom of that big volume node from yesterday. It's kind of interesting. You see right here. Our point of control, it's at 910. We'll see. Tell you what, Maple was on fire this morning. Just getting with the trend. Thank you for having Yield Max guys on for yes. Yield Max, if you're looking for dividend stuff, the Yield Max team, they're great. They come on every Wednesday. So every Wednesday they come on, they share updates, changes, just different things going on, new stuff, all that. And they answer questions. I love the transparency. Anybody that, does this stuff, like we want them to come on and talk and be transparent. NVIDIA ripping next week as long as Trump and Xi go golfing. Yeah, I mean, there's your big what's next kind of moment, right? I don't know, but I love the volatility where we can get these moves. I mean, look, today's been great. We went up 218 points. How far did we fall? 450. And we're back 214 off the low. It's basically the midpoint of today's range. That's insane. What a day. Any thoughts on CLSK? I can tell you what the chart looks like. Clean spark. I mean, you see the chart. Chart looks great. I believe they're Bitcoin mining as well as the data center stuff. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this chart. What do you do with it? You're about to make all-time high. I would guess that this thing probably sees 25 at some point, but it may have to pull back and cool off to 20 first. But when a chart looks like this, like I don't know what thoughts you want other than the business side of things in a hot sector is doing well. A lot of people very bullish on those. I mean, look at what Mara's doing while Bitcoin's pulling back, which we'll talk about. Crypto does not look good. This is not a good looking chart. This looks like some Wyckoff stuff, to be 100% honest. Make that slightly higher high and just completely fell, traverse the whole range, bounce back and back test it. That does not look that good. Ethereum looks actually kind of worse. When I look at this, I can just draw that straight across there. Look where all that consolidation was. This, and then this back testing and getting rejected. Not the greatest look. Is it in any trouble? No, it's not in trouble. I mean, you know how Ethereum is. Ethereum could come down here and still do this pretty easily, pretty quickly. Solana, this is what I don't like about Solana. So your trend line here, and then reject. So you think about this, you held the trend line here, you held it here, you held it here, you broke it, back tested, and you're rejecting. You did hold the 200-day, but you're rejecting that trend line. Not my favorite look in the world. You also have these same highs right here. So just like the quick explanation on that is this nice move on NQ here. Nice move.
I'm out all but one of my NQs. Maybe I scaled too early.
Let's go. Where'd you get them, Rizzo?
I got in a little late, 740s. I had bids at 630s to 660. It came like so close.
There's an IB low, or I'm sorry, 30-minute orb low. Oh, it's the same today.
Yes, I'm going to take my first set of trims here at 5 for 50 points.
Yeah, I think we can remove the ticker bar for a little in between.
Yeah.
I got it.
QS has earnings coming up. Gap up higher, lower. I think we sell their forward thoughts. I don't know. I would not be betting on these. Like, I don't want to. What's the right word? Spec names into earnings. That's not where I would be betting on them. I'd be betting on them on the time in between earnings. IMO. No, we can get rid of this one too. I just honestly, I don't think it looks that great.
Dang, what a reversal.
And we can unhighlight that comment. There we go. Bitcoin below. It's back below 107, or is it? He's saying
No. If it goes below that, well, there's your 200-day. There's that kind of box of activity I have drawn.
If we're back under 107, that would be.
Yeah, it gets ugly quick down there.
Very ugly.
Yeah,
very quick.
Bounce back. We mentioned this a little bit earlier. Taiwan Semi tonight going to be very interesting. What's up, Evan?
I was just messing around. It's a good thing you stopped me.
Oh boy.
Taiwan Semi.
Taiwan hard.
We're gonna rename it to Arizona Semi.
Arizona
building over here in the great state of. I did very well in Arizona, by the way. Very well. A lot of fraud, but did well. Some great people in Arizona, Texas as well. A lot of factories coming home.
Oh fuck!
That was actually good.
That was really good. That was really good. Jeez.
If you notice, like, you have to do the like hand thing. That's how. If you don't do the hand thing, it doesn't work.
Emperor, are you holding runners? Are you long still? Look at this wick on the hourly. Jeez.
Yes, I'm still long.
That hourly wick is. It's a nice wick you have there, brother.
Nice.
I don't want to talk about what it looked like before this long happened.
Evan, that was so good. Nice wick.
Golly. Look, this hourly about to be a massive hammer in 5 minutes. Look at this, dude.
Look at that. Ugh.
I don't even want to trim here, even though I have to. What's gold doing?
Goldilocks. I wasn't doing much intraday, but another new all-time high day. I mean, it's every day, bro.
All the way out of the woods. Actually, right here. This is a huge spot from like 4 different angles on the daily.
By the way, as well, you guys are on the YouTube. You're not subscribed. You guys should subscribe. We're doing some cool stuff here. They do a really good job at showing you live streams once you're subscribed to a channel. If you guys want to get notified when we go live, just hit that bell button if you're already subscribed. And then also, if you're on X watching, we're always going to go live on X, but I think the experience is a little bit better on YouTube. So I just commented below the live stream link, where if you're watching this, if you click out on the tweet where we're live, the link over to the YouTube where you guys could see where we're at. So I'm gonna throw that stuff in there. Like the stream too, that helps. I love SA loves an Arizona semi. What we got? Arizona full, no longer semi.
Let's see what these other names are doing.
Arizona hard.
I really like Hood still.
Google looks really good.
Evan should buy some Hood calls.
You think?
Let me look at the options. Don't hold on.
I love that Google. I love what Google did here, by the way. That looks really good on Google. Apple, perfect gap fill and push back over previous day's high. That looks good, Evan.
What do you think? So I got into the alpha futures. 2 pushed leads. I wonder what that means, or if that's just us clicking the links.
That's just them clicking the link, I believe. I'm not sure.
We haven't even shared the link. This is the code.
Oh, that's then
we were
people
saying,
just using the code then.
That'd be pretty badass. 2 people already.
Let's go.
Tom, I'm with you on that.
I've used our code for Tradify before. Because we had that already, but the alpha one. I don't love IV, but I don't hate it on Hood. October 31st. I'm gonna look a little farther out.
I don't hate Hood here on the 21 EMA and the 20-day.
I love Hood unless we're under that daily imbalance, that right, like that big daily candle under that. Yeah, basically, yeah. Shouldn't have to trade under that.
I think you could trade 130 pretty easy. I don't know. It's all about what risk assets start doing right now. Have you guys seen HIMS today?
Yeah, well, they're adding more HERS.
They're adding more HERS? Is that the real headline?
No, but it was a funny headline.
HIMS to add more HERS.
Did you see the grinder post I put out last night?
You put out a grinder post?
And I tagged Ahmed in it, and it sometimes.
Oh, I
saw
somebody else actually trolling him with grinder as well, taking it private or something.
By the way, Evan, I'm looking at 140s for October 31st on Hood. The IV is a little high, but if you don't like the IV, I would just do a 2x.
Jordan? Balls deep. What was the strike? What was the expiry?
I don't know. The IV's a little high, brother. You might just want to go like 2x leverage.
I like this one. This is a good tweet.
Again, but where were you looking to expire?
I was looking 2 weeks out, October 31st.
Halloween, spooky. You were looking at the 140s?
Yeah.
All right, Jordan.
I don't know though. All I do know is under yesterday's M5? Low.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I was just saying under yesterday's low, we probably don't want to see on Hood. If it happens, it's technically still okay, but I imagine these options would take a little bit of a hit. So that's probably where like stop would be.
All right, boys.
Something like this, but
Jordan, I have order sitting at 580 on those contracts. I will come back and let you guys know if it's
all right.
A minute or two though. Like and subscribe. Love you. Bye.
Yeah, I just really like Hood here. I'll pick up like
literally 2X. Bringing up Evan's X here to ask him a question. He just dipped out. What a guy! Tell you what. What does Hood look like on the intraday? Hood. Yeah, that's not my favorite look. I just can't do anything with Hood up here. CRM being a little stubborn. Maple uses Take Profit Trader. I think he uses some other ones as well. I know he does a lot of Take Profit Trader. I don't know. I think he uses Top Step. I don't know which other ones he uses. We'll have to ask him. Come ask that question on Friday. We'll get Maple on here and we'll get that answer for you. All right. We rejected exactly where I said we probably should reject that 918. Rizzo.
What did you say? You call it name?
I said, this is like where we need to hold right here on NQ, right? I mean, maybe 850.
Here down at 8:30. We got what, 2 hours left? I wouldn't be surprised if we sit between 8:30 and 9:60 rest of the day.
5,700 reclaim is decent on ES if this gets an instant bid. You just had 3 big 15-minute candles in a row after a big down one, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a little shakeout action here.
If I really want to just pad stats today, I put on a new set of longs, 830s, 840s.
Time is Minx coming on, just enter a short. Oh boy.
Oh my god, I'd be up so much on the day if I just held those shorts. I don't know why I decided to cut them. Right before the freaking flush, too. Oh my god, and what the heck is that?
I'm about to text it to Jordan. Hold on.
Oh, what I feel.
Jordan, where you at? Here you are.
I'm here.
Oh, I filled some gold shorts, or a little more.
Oh my gosh, Em.
It's tough.
The battle, bro.
NVIDIA rejecting previous day's low. I don't like that. Gold is getting a little gold's getting a little goldy here.
She's getting jumpy in the intraday. It was slow, but finally picking up a little bit. I don't know if we can say the same for Bitcoin.
This is an insane chart.
Every day, new all-time high. Maybe once in a while we take a pause day and just back to the races.
All right, I guess. Beige book did just come out a few minutes ago, Rizzo. Rizzo, you got that stupid song stuck in my head still.
Which one?
That
Oh,
you were a
kids?
child crawling on your knees toward it. You know what song that is, Jordy?
What's that?
It's that like MGMT or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The song called Kids.
I don't know if I know it.
There's no way you have to.
Oh, you would definitely. It's that dun 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 dun.
Oh yeah. I know that
That
one.
one.
Yeah.
Dude, I heard it in the background of Rizzo's mic at like 9:30 a.m. this morning, and I have not. It's been in my head all day.
And once I take my first trade of the day, get exits on most of them, I just start blasting music in my ears. And then I turn it off once I start trading again.
Wow, silver 48. You were a child. Just for trading purposes, does it make sense to buy NVIDIA now? Or buy 100 NVIDIA now and selling a call to make weekly income? I don't hate buying NVIDIA at the 50-day moving average ever, if that's part of your question. Selling covered calls can be a good strategy. You could also sell puts. Like you could sell puts down here if you're wanting to buy 100 NVIDIA. Like you could probably sell puts down here somewhere, and if it comes down there, then you buy it. You get your price you want. That would be one strategy. The other strategy is, yeah, I mean, buy some and sell some calls up here for some premium. Just know if you're wanting to earn NVIDIA, I mean, it depends. Like if you're trying to own NVIDIA and you're selling calls against it, I mean, you need to sell calls where you're wanting to sell NVIDIA, right? So like if you went out to December or something like that, sold like $200 calls in NVIDIA, you want to be like, hey, that's where I want to, have my NVIDIA shares called away. So, and there's a lot of like calculators and strategy stuff out there that tell you exactly how to do it. But I think that's the main thing you need to answer. Do you want to own NVIDIA, or do you want to, like, I mean, if you're just trying to generate the premium, like maybe you don't care. But if you want to own NVIDIA, I don't know if you want to sell calls really against it a whole lot. I mean, you can, but you need to sell it at a place where you're willing to let go of NVIDIA. Paul,
Wow.
thoughts on RSL? Frank, what's up, Frank?
Hey, that was something else, huh?
Yeah, I got myself in a pickle a little bit earlier, but then I waited and waited and waited. Here, I'll send it to you, Frank. I got in long down here and made most of it back into this. So, well, I guess I made all of it back, but I'm still risking a little bit to see if we can get higher. I really think we can get back to at least 950.
Yeah. I think you're right, probably.
I would not be shocked to see us close today above 25,000, and the daily would look so good in many ways.
That was off the World Bank comment. You got to watch. You guys see that?
I saw a few things. So like what Besant was telling, Europe basically to go against China and stuff. The One World Bank did. What was the comment, Frank?
He wants the World Bank to shut out China.
Shut out China. Yeah, okay. That's the one that I heard too.
That's trade war talk. This isn't over. This is not over.
No, like that's what I was saying. Like, because somebody was asking, is this bearish or bullish? Like, if we close here or higher, here, look at the NASDAQ, Frank. If you close right here, basically on the NASDAQ, 10 points higher than where we're at or higher, you're back over every moving average on a closing basis with a bottom wick. So like that piece looks good, but you're in this like this area right here could be a ping pong zone for a while until we figure some stuff out or get some earnings going. But I think I have to lean toward the side that this gets bought up. Like this little turbulence here is just from the headlines and it gets bought up.
Yeah. I think you might be right, but I also think that buying the dips is no longer going to work at some point. And I think we're at that pivotal point. Maybe we're not there yet, but I think we're getting there.
NVIDIA's thanking Serve Robotics for shipping something today, or they're shipping something today. It's just the headlines going on. Here's SERV Serve. Probably get a pop on this name out of this. What does this look like on the daily? This Serve. Oh, wow. There's so many charts that just look like this that, you know what I'm saying, Frank?
Yeah, yeah.
There's so many.
Are we gonna run into end of the day? Are we gonna close bullish?
I cut my CRM before it really lost it. You can't get anything going here. TSM tomorrow morning, that'll be big.
Yeah, tonight. So I held the CRM, but just because it didn't break this yet, Frank.
The 37 level, yeah.
It's this bottom trend line. That's the only reason why I held it. I added some gold puts too, by the way. 382s and 380s.
I'm still in the trade, Amp.
I added on this pop. Look at my daily chart. I mean, this is just an extension, but that's where it just came back to and rejected again, 42.20. I usually don't even look at fib extensions this high, but I had to.
The beige book was released at 2 o'clock?
Yeah, Facebook came out. It's where you got that one little red candle, but it wasn't really anything. That's kind of what pushed gold, I think, a little bit as well. Frank, I just text you that what my day's been like. Oh, MP. I'm sorry, Paul. I didn't. I looked at ARM. ARM has multiple headlines coming out. ARM looks really good. I mean, you look at this on big, big area or whatever. Oops, go back. I mean, even if you zoom in, this look good. You broke kind of this neckline. You really got to get over 180 maybe to get a push to those all-time highs, but you made a pretty big move, even with the volatility. ARM looks pretty good. It's a little, I mean, you could let these catch up a little bit, but ARM looks good, and ARM's getting a lot of headlines right now with different people. There was one with ARM and Meta today. MP is one of those that, like, what do you say about it? Most people I know that were in MP down here. So I mean, they're up, what, 300%, 4x, and then anybody that built a position in here, they're up almost 100%. They're up what, 80%. So you get a back test on MP to here, 82. I mean, this is a hanger and a half right here, as Frank would call it. Hey, look at this daily push up with a little upper wick. You get the hangman, and you're getting the follow through candle. So you probably come back down here. You look for that EMA 9, and you look for these previous highs. That's what you look for on MP if you're looking to buy. You could probably start buying there and buy your way into 78. The problem I have is it super overcooked right now? Could be, but do you want to stay bullish rare earths? I think that answer is definitely yes right now with what we're doing. Peaceful Oracle. Oracle is an interesting one. I don't have an issue with Oracle. I like Oracle. The valuation's really high on this right now. You have a huge gap up here that basically filled the half gap. It's a little bit of a curl, but I still wouldn't be surprised to see this either chop a bit more or eventually work its way back down to here. But if it does get moving a little bit, I mean, you could see a push up here. But when I see this, previous all-time high and this big kind of hole down here, it's a little bit tough for me to want to buy up here. Now, for the record, Peaceful and for everyone, we don't give recommendations to buy or sell any stock, security, option, future, anything, period, on here. This is just educational entertainment purposes only. So cannot tell you to hold or sell or anything. I can tell you that I am holding some Oracle. I'm not buying any more up here. I think I actually trimmed some on this big move. I'm not looking to add anything back, but I want Oracle exposure in my portfolio, so I'm a holder. But there's a million different ways to actively invest, to trade, all the above. So there's that. Rizzo, not sure what you took, but I took those NDX 750. If I held those, it'd be up 20K. Wow. Rizzo, did you
NDX 750, which ones?
Probably zeros. You probably bought them at the down near the lows.
No, I didn't play options at the lows there. I just played futures. I wish I could send screenshots in the freaking YouTube thing.
I could probably pull them up somehow. I could figure it out if you really wanted to, or you can share your screen, either way. Let's see, what is this? Sorry, I'm catching up with the chat here, guys. I was watching this long a little bit. This level right here is going to be very interesting, because if we close here or higher on NDX, it looks really good. So NQ, literally right here, we'll call it 890s, just to give a range, 890s to 930, maybe 880 to 930, 920. That I think is a very important spot. So I'm just going to do this. Uh-oh. What happened to Pan W? Headline. Pan W. What's the headline?
Did I just...
Oh no.
Am I tripping, or did I hear Minxie?
Rizzo, no.
Oh my god.
All right, bull market's canceled, guys. I just heard Minx in my other ear. So did Rizzo.
Okay. Just blasting freaking Phil Collins and then out of the Blue, I just hear Minxie's voice.
Randolph, inverse head and shoulders. Are you looking at like what time frame? Maybe like the hourly? I guess if you're thinking this, but this kind of doesn't really make the head and shoulders for me, but there's a little trend line right here that I just noticed. Ooh, keep that on the chart. Yeah, Will, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I'm thinking if we can close right here or a little bit higher, this looks fantastic to me. To at least go revisit this. There we go. Oh, we're about to hit VWAP. To run into some traffic on NQ VWAP, previous session high. And we're back to the midpoint of the 30-minute orb. Where is... Yep, there's my box I drew. Watch them pump it into power hour and then some more news comes out. That'd be par for the course right now. Drop it during the day and then release good news at night, maybe? I don't know.
Right.
Ooh, AMAT? Is AMAT having a day?
AMAT, been a minute
Live
since I looked at that. It's having a day.
Oh my gosh, look at that. So a couple quick things on AMAT that I can just literally eyeball. This area right here, if I just draw this straight across, look at this. This consolidation is above this area of value. That is nice. The other thing, just looking at it here, look at this cup. EMA 9 holding. This looks good though. Look at this. Boom. Now, do you need a handle? Maybe. You don't have to. Who wants to see Rizzo Degen?
What? I added to my NQ. Oh, I was muted on stream.
I heard you. I heard you telling the Discord.
Yeah, I added light on NQ here, 900. I'm gonna risk 970.
I like it. Discord gets it first. That's fine.
I'm gonna try to take it for a scalp up to 940s.
We're going, yeah. So like when I look at previous day's high, previous session high 947, VWAP 936. Looks pretty good overall. Flash side. We don't need the gap fill in here right now. This AMAT chart's pretty nice. Wells Fargo, a little follow-through day after their big day yesterday. Visa, I feel like I need some long Visa right there. Oh, look at Poopal.
Poopal coming in yesterday's range.
Coinbase let me down. I have to wait for the 320s now. Boy, BMNR needs to hold for having 50-day right there. Ooh, Circle got slappy the other day. Can't get off its back a little bit. Rizzo, I told you to buy Nubank yesterday. You didn't listen to me.
When? Was the end of the day?
I thought I told you yesterday we came off the 50-day. I don't know. I told a lot of people. I can't remember who all I told.
I napped for like 4 hours after yesterday's call.
Oh, that's right. Let's see what else is the AWM, another new all-time high today.
No,
Frank, are you long KRE?
No.
Ugh. That is. Did you see this?
Let me look. I looked at it yesterday. It was after the earnings. It was up after all those bank earnings. Let me take a look.
Yeah, it went up and it went to the 50-day and the 20-day. They rejected and they're crossing today. Look at this. Back down 2.5.
Ooh, that's not good. That's
Give him
not
back.
good.
I mean, it's got to hold here, but that's not what I wanted to see.
KBE doesn't look good either. Regionals and KBE, that's not good.
Yeah, both big rejections today. Interesting.
Volume profiles like evening out. Looks like we got some resistance up above us in NQ. Boy, there's a big gap below if we break, man. When we break, this is trouble. I'm telling you, we're gonna break at some point soon. Not today, maybe not this week, but it's coming. Unless we'll see. I'm just thinking out loud.
P&L check chat. Where are we at today? A lot of volatility. I'm curious how you guys are doing. Here, I'm answering for me. So the host account, that's mine. Barely, but I'm there. I don't know what 11 means, stonks. I don't know if that's awesome or bad. I don't know if that's awesome or bad. Some twos, some ones. Oh, my man, TB 487. Jordan, if you respond with 6-7, I will laugh my tail off. Yeah, 6-7.
Yeah, 6 or 7.
Forbes with the 3 flat, no trades. I almost told myself this morning that I wanted to do that. That would have been a better option than where I'm at today. There we go. A lot of ones coming in. Okay, a lot of ones. I like that. I like that crew. A lot of ones in the chat. And this flag out right here. Look at this. No, we slowed down right in that box, didn't we? And there we go. Shout out TWL. 1 times 5. Is that 5 accounts, our trader? Let's go. Why do we feel like we can't get to highs? I don't know. I mean, the market was a little overcooked a little bit, you know. Then you got a big headline, escalation kind of in the China trade tensions. So if people needed a reason to sell, if they had one on Friday, and then now people are trying to see, okay, is the volatility going to calm down? Did we pull back far enough? I don't know. I mean, this daily, I mean, obviously this one candle looks crazy, but I mean, we're above where September closed, 15 days ago. It's a complete inside week. And we're back above these 2 weeks. That's not a bad look. Weekly 9. Look at the weekly 9 here. The blue weekly 9 EMA. Tough to think anything different. All right, we're getting a little push here. Let's see if we can get up to 950 on NQ. I know I'm long a little bit. I know Rizzo's been long. He was just adding, actually. I don't know what Frankie, are you in anything?
I'm in nothing. I think, I'm thinking that I'm done. I'm nothing right now.
I'm in a small amount, just seeing if we can get to 950 and then back in that 25,000 area. Tommy, 4 green accounts, 1 not traded. That's a beautiful day right there. FE1. I see that. Boom. Forbes just wants this NVIDIA 180 plus. We're just reclaimed 180 on NVIDIA right there too. Nancy Lou. It's not going to show me. If you're on YouTube, you can see her comment looks way better than this. But Kodak, my guys on the small cap show have been telling me about Kodak. Kodak as a pharmaceutical play is what I'm being told it is now, instead of cameras. And boy, you talked about a chart that's done nothing for a long time, but like you start to look at this, like major kind of consolidation curl. I mean, if it gets out of this area, I think it could get, pretty explosive. It needs a catalyst, though. Maybe pharma, all that stuff is the catalyst. Interesting. It's an interesting ticker, Nancy Lou. I'm glad you brought it up. Our small cap guys have been all over this a couple times. I played it with them once. Profast 07. It's supposed to be 6-7. 6-7. Dude, that was an all-time little slip-in joke I had today.
That was all-time slip-in.
The only one that
I just started dying. Laughing.
Well, I wish we were on stream for that, because I would have immediately just been like this, like staring at your face.
I know.
This is, dude. I just threw that out there.
Good.
I was reeling in anybody under the age of 27. I was trying to reel them in.
Yeah. It's too fun.
Get all these ones in the chat. That's what I like to see, team. Boom.
Yeah.
All these ones in the chat. That's good. Jordan, are you bullish or bearish here?
Am I bullish or bearish here? Hold on. Honestly, I'm a bit more bearish on this bigger time frame if we're going on the daily, given the delivery we had today. I mean, we tapped in the previous day high. We swept previous day high. We are getting delivery from a daily bearish for value gap. Unless we get over that, this is not going back to all-time highs, in my opinion. So on this bigger time frame, I'm a little bit more bearish. Obviously, this last sell we just swept Asia low, and we had hourly fair value that we popped out of. So, you know, right now, this second, we are respecting that on that time frame. But given the bigger time frame, I can't really think that we're prone to trade back to all-time highs right now. I just can't, given what the market's telling us. It's telling us it's respecting that bearish zone to the downside right now. And until we're over that, I can't really think we go back to all-time highs. So I'm going to have to say a bit more bearish. Intraday, we did just get that bounce. So right this second, I guess I'm a little more like neutral on this intraday. But
you know what this reminds me of, Jordan?
Yeah, what's up?
So look at this like right here. So just this like float, super frothy kind of float higher here, and then a big down move, and then we kind of like trying to get going back here again. Look back here at this. So
yeah,
look at this. Does this not look really familiar? Huge down move. And then look,
it could be the same thing.
We had a green candle. We pulled back down. The next day, pushed back up, and then look, we got.
I just don't have like clarity. I just don't have confirmation for that high until we're through this daily zone, you know. But I can see that happening for sure. We've seen that before, right? And another thing to keep note of is on a weekly chart. If you just go to a weekly, all we did last week was dip into a weekly fair value, and we're holding that. So that's another thing to keep in mind as well. Does that mean that daily gets ran through since we're getting delivery from weekly potentially, right? And then we can go to all-time highs.
Oh, but I know. I went to draw this and I already drew it on here. Hold on.
Yeah, it's small. Look the way I see it, Emp, is like if we can't get over this daily spot, if we can't do it and get back to all-time highs, we're going back to that weekly low we made from last week. That's the way I see it. You see my favorite pivot extension? Oh yeah. Right
that.
Where that is. Literally that low.
Way
wow.
Before we got down there.
I love how I have my like ways of viewing things on the higher time frame, and then we come and we see that you had a fib there, and it lines up with what I was looking at. It's just like we're getting to the same place.
Look, you want to see something crazy?
Different things. I love it. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me see if I can. Let me see where I drew this. All right. So look, here's two fibs retracements. This one right here, low to high, and then from this low to the high.
Yeah.
And if you look this low, the extension for 1.272 was right here.
Yep. Look at that.
Which was also this.
Yep.
And then look, the 1.272. So like right here. Watch. Let me flip off this one. You see how the 1.618 extension's right here?
Yep.
See that? Now watch me flip on the other one.
It's right there, the other one. What's 272? Yep. They just lined up at the same level. It's crazy.
When I see that happen, that gives me huge confidence in certain levels.
Yep. That's insane.
But I use fibs a lot. All right, did we hit VWAP? Almost.
Right there.
Rizzo, there's my little squiggly line on yes. We finally got through it. Look, that's... how do I hide drawings? See this purple line on my chart, Rizzo? So look on NQ, look where we stopped the whole time. And then look where we stopped right here for a second.
It just works.
Jordan knows about my little secret EMA. There we go. Let's get a push. Let's get a push.
All right. NQ, I'm out of most of those into 945. The ones I just added. I'm gonna throw a stop at 910.
Oh, give me 950, dude. What are you doing?
Opening range lows here. Your 5-minute opening range low.
There it is. I got it. I don't need Rizzo. This guy's been leaving me on an island all day anyway. All right, I don't want to see us go back below like 885 the rest of the day.
No, I can't. Yes, what are we up? 60 points on the other half of the position. Can I swing this?
Yes. I feel like I want to swing Friday calls.
I should have done that off the lows today.
So we talked about it, and I didn't pull the trigger. Frank, she said picture I sent you. I texted it to you.
Ionic is down 7% today. Worth buying? No.
Worth buying. Ion Q. Was Rigetti down big too? Yeah, it's not even in trouble yet. These things are so overcooked though. Like RSI is sitting at 85 for like a month. This is what, so like this is when people say, you see the RSI down here at the bottom of my well, hold on, you can't see it because there's a this down here at the bottom of the chart, this RSI. When people say things can stay overbought for a long time, this is what they're talking about. Overbought can stay overbought. Why is CLSK rocket ship? I read that out like I was Siri. I don't know. Somebody brought this up earlier. CLSK. I think these Bitcoin miners and data center things have been doing well. I mean, look, Bitcoin's down. A lot of your crypto names are down, but Mara up 3% today. Riot is green after a big day yesterday, above yesterday's close. Made a slightly, it wicked a little bit above yesterday's range. Holding the 9 EMA. I mean, if you wanted to talk about something that looks terrible, get MSTR. Oh my gosh, we've been talking about this. We talked about this last week. Boom. President Trump signed an executive order to pay military today. Only one you're still holding? Mara, what up? NIQ, Nick?
Yeah, Rigetti's insane.
Rigetti is insane. I don't even know if you, I guess Rigetti has like 10 million in revenue or something, don't they? Do they have any revenue? 1.8 million revenue. Yeah, you may need more zeros behind that 81. That's so funny to me. Jeez. What's the what do the rare earths look like today? Yeah, they're pulling back too. What's this? Yeah. Let's take a look at the Mag 7. We'll start with Google because I see that one in the comments. Google, this is what, like right when we started the stream, I jumped on and when I shared my screen, I said, this looks great. Previous day's highs. We pulled back to there and look where that, I mean, exactly where these 15-minute candles lined up, previous day high. And a beautiful V shape out of that. Google does look good. Back over 250. That's a good sign. Tesla at yesterday's high. Tesla may be setting up for Tesla Friday for us. What is today?
Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday. Wow. For a second, I thought it was Thursday. Microsoft break even, trying to get back green on the day. Get my gap fill thing back on here. Microsoft, Meta, back over previous day high. Decent look on Meta. Nice day, 1.2%. We saw Google, Costco, kind of no man's land. Broadcom not doing anything, but it gapped up so big overnight. We're fine. You look left. You're fine on that. Amazon off the 200-day again. It's interesting. Apple's got some strength this afternoon. Here's the greatest stock in the whole. I mean, just take a look at this, Jordan. It's not the greatest stock ever.
Boing! And I'm not talking about Boeing. Just Boing. Launchpad.
Yeah, have you looked at this?
Oh, yeah. Finally getting out of that consolidation. After enough time.
FSLR for solar. Oh, look at that. That's a weekly. Nice move on FSLR.
Boom.
What about was it Sunrun? That one gapped up. We saw flow on that one the other day. I don't know if you guys have tried out Unusual Flow, but boy, they've put some stocks and some moves on my list lately. Oh, let me get signed back in. I love how like I switch Google accounts all the time on here because I have like a business one and my personal. Like half the stuff I get signed out. Ooh. BTG, Flow Soundhound, can. Just curious if anything on the alerts popped up. Kodak. Hey, whoever was talking about Kodak a while ago, somebody's selling. It looks like they're selling $10 calls. So they probably have a position. They're selling calls against it. It's interesting. Look at all these SPY calls that came in 1 minute ago. Not a ton of premium on this, but multiple people hitting 668s for tomorrow. 665 0DTs.
Got what, an hour left.
EEM. I've never seen this. Oh,
I grabbed the
somebody's bullish.
655 puts on SPY.
Boo!
Don't worry, they're a hedge. I'm putting size on ES above the level we're currently smacking our heads up against.
715. This is yesterday's point of control, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this whole area near these last two session highs.
If you get back above 25 on ES, the thing's beautiful by the end of the day.
Oh yeah. No, if it does, I think it'll just squeeze into end of the day. We'll see.
Look at that. 25 is literally your 50-day on ES as well, which are a little bit more reactive there. Thoughts on fuel cell? Funding bill just got rejected. Of course. Does anyone care anymore? Probably not. Clack. Sorry, F-Cell. I don't know enough about this company, but when I see a chart that looks like this, I don't want to know about the company typically.
Yeah, it looks rough.
I mean, could you get a curl and this happen? Yeah, you could, but I feel like here's a curl, boom. I mean, if you're aiming for like a 200-day, but now what do you aim for? Yeah, what do you? I don't know what you do with this.
Yeah, fuel cell's rough. Gold tried to pop out of that consolidation.
Yeah, I think we're about to talk some gold, aren't we?
Oh yeah, it's about to be 12. My time. 3 Eastern. Still early over here on the West Coast. Hims is going insane, I know.
Have you seen this BTGD? We've talked about this on Spaces many times. I remember buying it at like 20 something.
I remember the day that we started talking about it and it like came out, and I just wish I bought some that day, honestly. It's kind of butthurt I didn't.
I'm trying to remember when I
we seem to have a lot of those, Emp. We seem to have a lot of like opportunities that we have on Spaces, and the timing on them is just always really good, it seems. I'd have to go back, but I'm pretty sure we had a space on that exact day that BTGD launched.
Yeah, I want to say we had it on the launch the next day. And I mean, Bitcoin Gold, look what Bitcoin and gold have done. It just, gold is insane right now. Bitcoin obviously has made crazy moves. It's fine consolidating. Dude, that anti-inflationary trade is just, it doesn't even look like it's stopping anytime soon, if we're being 100% honest here.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thought is like more of that is becoming into fruition with, I mean, everybody getting into crypto now.
Yeah.
I still think it's similar to the market where we will see these big cycles down in something like Bitcoin. But I know there's some different thoughts around that. But I personally think, big hedge funds and institutions have been a part of the market forever, and they let those big cycles happen. So I'm not really in the camp of thinking like, oh, we won't see these big downturns anymore. But I'm still very bullish on both assets, and I think got to be taking advantage of dips. The hard thing with gold is, where do you buy it? Like, where do you buy this thing, man? Like, I don't know what to do
looking
with
at this gold. Just look at this gold chart right here. This is just insane. This is just a weekly GC futures, gold futures chart. I mean, it's just insane. You look at GLD as well. Look at this, just weekly gapping up. The question is going to be what's going on. I tell you what, Jordan, I don't know a ton about gold. I mean, luckily I get to host great conversations all day. I know you're a part of that as well. We get to hear a lot of really smart people. All the gold bugs, and Gav actually just turned into a gold bug. Believe it or not, he told us that the other night. He bought some gold. But from the like the Bitcoin maxis that are telling us the anti-inflationary trade's going, all the gold people I know that study these miners and gold and everything that's going on with gold, the macro people, everyone's telling me like gold can keep going. But what I love here, Jordan, is I don't have to like sit here and try to guess at gold. I can bring on smart people. You know,
exactly.
We've got smart people in our network that come on and tell us stuff and educate us and stuff. I know a lot of people are really curious about gold. And let me tell you what, there's somebody great that's going to join us right now. What's up, David? Let me get you up here on the screen a little bit bigger. I'm going to hide my screen here.
How's it going?
Boom, there it is. Let's get this box going right here. What's up, David? How's it going?
Doing well. How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
We're just doing good. You know, just navigating these turbulent, volatile markets, little pullbacks across the market, you know, kind of intraday. But there's one thing that's not pulling back. That's this gold stuff that's going on. And, you know, nobody better to share some thoughts on it than yourself, David. Great to have you on. Appreciate you joining us, taking the time today. I get this question all day. I was just kind of leading into this a little bit. Jordan gets this a lot too. We host a lot of conversations all day, every day around markets. Everybody wants to know what's going on with gold. David, you're here. You're going to be the resident expert today. We appreciate you coming on. What's going on with gold? I guess maybe a good start there. Maybe some quick macro takes around it, and we'll dive in a little bit deeper because I'm curious your thoughts on: is this rally? Is it overdone? Can it keep going? What's going on with gold?
Yeah, it's fascinating. I think gold is one of the most hated assets, or I guess negatively spoken about assets in the crypto space. And for me, I find that so irrational because at least with Bitcoin, so much of what I think people find in Bitcoin, they see in gold as well. You know, we had a 3 or 4 month period this year until about 2 months ago where gold was basically trending sideways for about 3 or 4 months. And that was after hitting an all-time high. And the market completely forgot about gold. They were like, we're past gold, right? That happened, that came and went. And now we're seeing this new rally. And I think what's hard for us to wrap our heads around, at least in the United States, is what an asset like gold can look like when you're truly in that printing spiral from the government and your economy starts to act more like an emerging market economy. We saw this happen in the tariff tantrums, right? Stocks, the dollar, and bonds were all down at the same time. Like, why is gold so relevant right now? It's because every developed nation is starting to look, at least from a credibility and a financial standpoint, more like an emerging market economy than a true developed nation. So our dollar is down, 10, 11% this year. You can attribute a lot of gold's and Bitcoin's return to that alone. I sent you guys a number of really interesting charts, but what we see here is the shift of what is your stability and safety asset. We've been in a 40-year cycle of 60-40 is your benchmark, right? So you're seeing both allocators, RAs, the institutional world re-question that 40% benchmark, and you're seeing the same thing in central banks. I sent you guys a really cool chart earlier today. I don't know if you guys can pull it up, but it was the last chart, the Bloomberg chart in that series. It shows central banks' holdings of dollar-denominated assets and gold. And, you know, in the 70s and 80s, central banks had 70, 80% of their balance sheets in gold. And in the mid-2010s, that hit record lows. And it's on just this asymmetric upside tear because all large entities, whether they're RAs, institutions, hedge funds, or central banks, are scared to hold dollar-denominated assets, not just our dollar, but any really currency-denominated assets and fixed income, because they know that, like the demographic issue we find ourselves in, all of these economies are going to just continue to print. If you look at that report again, this is some of the best information I think is there's an annual report called In Gold We Trust that's been coming out for once a year for about 20 years. It's legitimately 400 pages. Any chart you could ever want to find on gold, you can find in there. We also gather a lot of really good information from the World Gold Council. But this chart here, you can see the rise of holdings in gold as reserves in the global reserve system. And we don't see that slowing down anytime soon. In the 2010s, early 2010s, people were even selling gold, but really come 2014, 2015, when people realized that QE was not like a temporary thing. It was the new status of the market. And we were just going to continue in this cycle and never, at some point in the early 2010s, we all thought we were going to wean off of QE and the Fed would no longer have a balance sheet of liquid assets. It kind of was irrational for them to. It's kind of been a broken Excel formula for them to have assets. You're like, wait, but you're guaranteed by the government and you're holding their assets. And it's just kind of a broken Excel formula. And so I think gold is just continued to be that head scratching asset that, we're looking at historical periods of, every time gold runs up X amount in the last couple of years, like maybe it tops off. Like this time is very, very different. There's actually one chart that shows the last 4 bull markets in gold overlaid on top of each other. And you can see from a percentage basis how early we are versus those other runs. And I think gold is very misunderstood because, I was on a space with Gav a couple months ago, and we were talking about how gold is like the ultimate store of value. You hear it, whether it's a suit or a car or a house. You go back 200 years, 300 years, that same gold bar will buy you that same amount of assets, whether it's a suit, a car, a house, or whatever the case may be. But we actually believe the math shows that fundamentally changed in 1971, right? It went from a store of value to a wealth generator in 1971. Why? Because we delinked from the gold standard and then we just started printing. And there was actual real return value in gold beyond just inflation from that moment, which makes a lot of sense. This, as you pull up here, is one of my favorite charts. Shows the 1972, 78, 07, and 24 run in gold. The purple line is the average, and the red line is the start in 2024. So we're right above 4,000, 4,200 right now, but you can see even in historical context, this could have more room to run. And candidly, the naysayers in the marketplace is what makes me feel good about it. When an asset class is at an all-time high and everyone's like, oh my gosh, everyone needs to buy this right now, that's when I get concerned. But, it comes down to a very basic formula of supply and constraints. And, I'll take a step back, and I guess I didn't really introduce myself, but I'm the founder and CEO of Quantify Funds. Our first ETF is this leveraged Bitcoin and gold ETF, choosing to rebalance between 2 scarcity assets. Bitcoin mines at 86 basis points, gold mines about 1.75%. It's not like all of a sudden there's more demand in gold and our mining rates in gold are going to jump to 4, 5, 6%. Like that's just not physically possible. There are not going to be all these undiscovered mines in the world. You could argue at a higher price, maybe they can grab a little bit more, but with the price so much higher, it's still probably going to stick around that 1.75%. 33% of all gold that is mined in the world today is directly bought by central banks. And that number is going up, right? So they're expected to buy more in 6 months than they were today. So if they start getting to 40% of all supply, you're talking about a 1.25% supply to the rest of the world after the central banks whet their appetite with gold. And just how fast will we print currencies? When we launched this ETF in the fall, people kept asking me like, well, what's the bear case? You can't say stagflation, inflation, deflation, it's all good. And we did say those things. The bear case was the Doge task force, right? That came and went. And a lot of people believe that when Trump saw interest rates spike during all those tariff talks, that he kind of rewrote his plan, as opposed to, instead of like trying to curb the spending, he was going to try to grow his way out.
Just pivot and grow our way out, right?
Exactly, right. And what does that mean? That means definitely inflation, hopefully productivity growth, but definitely inflation. So if we're lucky, we get inflation and productivity growth and GDP. That's very good for gold. If we are not lucky, we get inflation, no productivity growth, and a lack of GDP growth, and we get in that stagflationary environment. We just started this whole new campaign of they print, we stack, in reference to central banks and the governments around the world printing currencies, especially even when the government shuts down, we're firing workers. That doesn't put a dent into how much we continue to print. They're printing every day while the government is closed. So really finding that true scarcity asset. I had one chart that was like a circle chart that showed the institutional ownership of different asset classes, including gold. And you can see how slow the institutional world has really been to adopt gold as their safety asset. And I would just ask you, like, in all honesty, what else do you have out there? Like, we've been sitting around thinking about this for 15 years. What is that safety asset that you can have in your portfolio? I know, Ethereum's done well as a technology, silver's done very well, and people like that it's actually used in the economy as well. I would argue that its use in the economy makes it less correlated as a store of value, right? So here you can see what family offices portfolios looked like in 2023. Obviously, this is a little bit stale and it's grown since then. But gold and precious metals make up 1% of their portfolio, right? So maybe now we're at a couple of percent, 3 or 4%. But I would argue that a lot of anything that's tied to the debt markets will likely continue to shift to a closer balance to debt and precious metals, specifically gold in this case. So it's been on this monumental run, but quite frankly, you have to invest a little bit differently today because pretty much everything except for treasuries is at an all-time high. So you have to look, in my opinion, at what is either the growth prospects of a stock or the supply constraints of an asset.
Yeah, that's
So
where. Go ahead.
I was going to just ask one quick question. So a lot of times people thought about gold as like a flight to safety, but it seems like that's not really the case anymore. And I see one of our viewers here, not mainly about a safe place to put your money. This is different. This is different than the 80s. Pay attention to the demand of physical gold and silver. So that piece that Ocean Selling is putting here. And then my question with that is, it doesn't seem like it's a flight to safety anymore because you just said assets are at all-time highs. But so is gold, and gold is actually, I guess, on a relative basis, gold is beating the market by far.
I mean, they're up for the same reason, right? We keep printing. That money has to find its way somewhere. In equities, there isn't scarcity, right? You have C-level suites, options, you have new companies being issued into the market. There's a way to feed new demand with new supply, but that's just not the case in this gold market here. So again, when the dollar's down 11% in a year, the first 11% you see in gold is it's not even a real return. So 11% plus 3% inflation plus a 2% rate of return, you're already talking about 15% this year just on surpassing inflation and the dollar by 2%. Now, I think the rest of the movement you've seen this year is the world really waking up to this, and I think there's a lot of gold bugs, as you said, who have been like, "Listen, I've been screaming about this since 2012. Where have you been?" And they're the same ones who see that math problem of like, this isn't over because not enough people own it. And there's just not enough gold in the world. And we need a store of value, right? And Bitcoin is a alternative store of value. But I think the world needs as many stores of value in this environment as it possibly can. We're all acting as if we're an emerging market economy where if you have a big purchase in 12 months, and you're a US investor for decades, you're like, oh, put that in cash. Put that in a money market account or something, earn 5%. Now you're worried about the destruction of the value of your dollar over that 12-month period. So you are going to start to introduce assets like Bitcoin and gold in that cash position that you intend to use in 12 months even, right? That's the lowest risk portfolio you have, period, is assets you intend to draw on and use within the next 12 months. And you can't really make a case to not include some portion of that in scarcity assets in today's markets. Another really great chart you pulled up here, you could see like what happened. We went off the gold standard. Everyone had a ton of gold. They were worried about the scarcity of assets, right? But what they missed is we were at the start of this massive debt cycle. Anything that could be monetized and leveraged with debt, whether it was a concept, an idea, a movie, an asset, whatever it is, if it had the smallest amount of cash flow, even if it wasn't positive cash flow, and even if it was like adjusted EBITDA, it's almost break even, boom, let's layer on a ton of debt on it. And that was really bad for scarcity assets, right? Then you go back to 2022, everyone was like, okay, but now interest rates are going to go up. Like this is historically when scarcity assets get crushed. But the exact opposite happened, especially with gold. Gold did really well in the face of interest rates increasing. The Fed was built to curb corporate and banking greed, not government greed, right? They don't have the tool set to slow down governments who are overspending and creating the bubble. And so we're stuck in this cycle where it's just really hard to expect an elected official to get his position turned to his constituents and say, you've elected me to save all your problems. I'm cutting all of your funding in half, right? Like that's just a really hard thing for an elected official to do. So you can see here again, right after people got over the scare of us going off the gold standard, people were sellers of gold for a long time because it had no cash flow, you can't leverage it, etc. Then 2010 QE started, and that's when the accumulation phase really picked up. And now you're seeing what happened, post the Ukraine and with everything going on with the U.S. fiscal side of our house right now. I expect that number to only increase from here. The real question is like, at what is there a price where central banks will stop buying gold? And I just don't see that because again, you wait 3 or 5 years, gold supply increases 1.75% a year. Paper currencies, if you're lucky, print at 7 to 9% a year only. If you're lucky, it's just a broken math problem. Every year, there's more dollars chasing the same or similar amounts of gold and Bitcoin. When Bitcoin had a 15% mining rate, you had to convince your neighbor to also like Bitcoin. But when it's a 1.75 or a 0.86% mining rate, you just have to wait. And the same people who like it will get their checks, put 2 to 5%, 10% in these assets, and that will be more than enough to withstand the new dollars coming into the market and support gold's price.
Some great rundowns. Jordan, did you have a question that you want to pop in with? And we'll get Sam involved here a little bit. If anybody in the chat has questions they want to throw at David, we really appreciate him talking about this because gold is just everywhere right now. And then we'll work in the Bitcoin and obviously the entire anti-inflation trade. Like you made one comment a while ago before I go to Jordan. Used to, yeah, okay, let me take some profits out and I'll just put it in cash. I'll put it in a money market or savings account. I don't even want to do that anymore. I feel like part of why stocks are doing so good is because people are thinking the same thing. Like, why would I leave cash in there? I'd rather risk it in the stock market. And then I would also rather put it in gold or Bitcoin instead of cash. I don't want to hold cash anywhere at this point.
This is what it feels like to be a member of the emerging market economy.
Yeah, because
Right.
again, like you mentioned, David, I mean, it's the same gold bar that bought you a suit and other needs back then can buy you the same things today, right? And
more.
That's the biggest thing, and more, yeah, like you were talking about, which is huge, and we can't say the same for the dollar, right? So I just want to get your overall takes on BTGD itself. I know we did a space, I think it was the day after inception, and a lot of people actually bought it on that day. Since inception, we're up 120% on BTGD. And what I find funny about that is, you've seen crypto do some good moves for sure, but really over the past few months since July, crypto's been pretty stagnant. And you just continue to see BTGD. Look at this chart. Crypto's stagnant, and this ETF is just absolutely going up to the races, obviously because of gold. But I want to get your takes on what you think could really happen when, what this chart looks like when Bitcoin actually starts taking off. Because since July, we haven't really done much, and it stayed pretty quiet. We did hit all-time highs recently, but just coming right back into that range and not much happening. So I'm just curious on your takes on, where you think after 120% since inception, if you see Bitcoin starting to really participate with gold here, what does the story look like for BTGD?
I mean, that's the beauty of this asset. We'll have pretty much 100% and 100% exposure every single day. We end up rebalancing about 3 to 5 days a week. I think the interesting thing about Bitcoin is it really flatlined once the Genius Act and everything came out that gave validity to the stablecoin. And so I think a lot of the flatlining you've seen in Bitcoin has been the institutional world saying, okay, I've been Bitcoin only for a long time, and I was right. The long Bitcoin short ETH trade was a killer in the hedge fund world for years. And then, stablecoin acts, Genius Act, JP Morgan creating a stablecoin, all of a sudden this technology became real. So I think a lot of the sideways movements you've seen in Bitcoin has been the institutional world that was adopting and increasing their Bitcoin allocations. The guys that were at 5% were in Bitcoin saying, I need at least 50 to 100 bips in maybe like Ethereum and Solana now that these things are valid. And you saw the jump in Ethereum and Solana, especially early on in the 3,500s, et cetera, to jump up across 4,000 in Solana, now above 200. I think the validity of the rest of the crypto market was put into place right a little bit later than spring. And that's where I think the sideways market in Bitcoin has come. While some of those institutional people were balancing out a little bit more of their crypto portfolio from just Bitcoin to, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. And so then I think you'll see a regular accumulation of all three at whatever ratio makes sense for them. But I do think Bitcoin is going to continue to run here. I think, again, it's an asset class. You're not hearing everyone talk about it and say that, this is an opportunity to they're not calling, it's not like an all-time high where you're seeing everyone scream to the Raptors that you need to buy at 80% of your portfolio, et cetera. That's what you expect to see at a traditional high in these assets. And we're just not there. I think there was almost a little bit more of a leeway into what you would call like the mid cap and even somewhat small cap crypto space, which took some of the fire out of Bitcoin. But I truly think that Bitcoin has another big leg even this year, definitely next year to run up. And the fact that people are already starting to overlook it, I think is a really good setup. That's what we saw with gold for about 4 months. It traded sideways for about 4 months, and people kind of forgot about it. And then really it's taken this next leg up. And I think a lot of that is to come in the Bitcoin space. Friday was really interesting, right? I think Friday was one of the healthiest things that happened to crypto in a long time. You wiped out a lot of people who had way too much leverage on the balance sheet. You had Trump coin go down 80%, right? So you're seeing almost a flight to quality in the crypto space. And yes, the flight to quality might be an asset that was down 15% on Friday and not 80%, right? But I think for the health of and the validity of the long-term crypto market, I think that was actually really, really healthy. Every once in a while, you need to wipe out the over-leveraged accounts and shake out some of the kind of crap coins from the ecosystem. And I feel like that's what this was since Friday. It's just a shakeout of some of the things that aren't actually going to be along for a long time.
I like that take, David, because you mentioned like, okay, there's some other like the shiny like flavor of the week with some of these other altcoins, I guess, but Bitcoin is the king, and then there's an argument to be made. Ethereum maybe belongs in the conversation in some ways, but it's not the same. It's Bitcoin and gold are kind of their own, right? And then Ethereum and the rest. But I like that thought that you just said, where we flushed out a lot of things, and maybe that kind of resets people's like just full risk on, and they're like, hey, let's get back to like the solid things, the things that we really know we can believe in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it seems like David, it seems like you're definitely more in the camp of thinking, hedge funds and institutions are not really going to let this thing turn over too bad. It seems like, these types of moves are what we should look for in terms of that, where we pump to all-time highs and then they bring it right back into the range, right? And try and punish a lot of those maybe all-time high buyers. Maybe it's more of that we're seeing rather than this giant cycle down in crypto or something like that. Is that kind of the boat you're sitting in here?
Yeah, absolutely. Institutions don't full port a position, right? Like retail might do that, but institutions might say, okay, over a 2-year period, we would like to get to maybe a 5 to 10% allocation. They're going to do that methodically, little by little. And what does that mean? That means when there are those drawdowns, they are buyers. People who already have Bitcoin are adding to it in their portfolio because they didn't overexpose themselves in the portfolio. You're seeing it in the drop of volatility in Bitcoin alone, right? Bitcoin's volatility has come down significantly. It's like just over twice the volatility of equities at this point. And what we do here at Quantify Funds, where we stack Bitcoin and gold, the interesting concept here is, traditionally leveraged ETFs, you got to trade them all the time. Even if you want to hold them from long periods of time, you have to add and trim and add and trim. We alleviate some of that stress and we rebalance it within the portfolio. Our up and down capture ratios on BTGD versus IBIT, unbelievable. Like we have over 100% upside on every single period and under 100% downside in every single period. And so what does that mean? That means that like you're getting this added volatility in the upside, but gold is actually dampening some of the risk on the downside. And there's very few leverage ETFs in this marketplace that are built to do that take out some of that path dependency that you see in the rest of the leverage ETF space. And that's why that line looks so smooth and up. We have about, I think, 104% of the standard deviation of IBIT. Again, that volatility is coming on the upside, not on the downside, at least so far.
It's a really interesting comparison there. I'm glad you mentioned that. I remembered. I was like, I mean, I can throw that on the chart real fast. That's a really interesting comparison when I look at that 73%, just in what I have here on the time period, basically from April, 73% versus 31%. That's really interesting. Sam, you've got a lot of thoughts around gold and the macro picture here. I know you've shared them a few times. Any thoughts that you want to throw in the mix, and anything maybe you want to ask David's opinion on?
Well, I mean, I just want to say, appreciate you bringing this ETF to us. I mean, this thing has just been up and to the right the whole time. I think a lot of that is really attributed to, well, this is the way that I see it. Bitcoin likes anarchy and the government, and gold is a safe haven, but less of a safe haven lately because from what I've seen is that when a large amount of institutions buy gold, they don't necessarily sell it. Bitcoin can be a very volatile asset, like you saw last Friday when it comes to de-risking and deleveraging, where you can have these crazy moves in it, a lot less pronounced with Ethereum and with Bitcoin. But yeah, like you were saying, with a lot of the altcoins out there, especially the meme coins, like they lost so much value, and there has been a lot of fraud lately. But one thing that's really been holding up, which we've been seeing, may not be a significant amount today because Bitcoin is down in the day. But overall, Bitcoin is outperforming the SP 500 and has been for quite some time. There's obviously more risk in that. But when you overlay the gold chart relative to the SP 500, it has been outperforming by a wide margin this year. I remember there were a lot of gold bugs, probably like sub 3,000 earlier this year, that were saying gold is going 4,000. Everyone thought they were crazy, right? You would get like those kind of, I don't want to say obscene price targets, but like very wide price targets with like stocks out there. A lot of the stocks are just running really hot. Even Bitcoin, some people are saying Bitcoin is going to like 1 million by the end of the year, some crazy amount, which, it's just insane. Like to think that it's going to make a massive move that upside, because people aren't necessarily thinking about the amount of money that actually needs to go to Bitcoin to make that move. But over time, what we've really seen is that there's a move to basically look onto other forms of transactions or other protocols of transactions. Because what we have now, it's not as fast. Like ACH transactions, they take like 2 to 3 days. Some people need their money now. Otherwise, they have to do a wire, and wires have a lot of fees and everything. If you were to use stablecoin as a means to send money, that's almost instant. And I'm not sure if our financial system is ready for it today. But I certainly think we're heading there. There's definitely a lot of treasury companies out there, including BMNR, that are looking to basically have a lot of the ETH supply because they suspect that stable coins will be the answer. But the way that I see it is that Bitcoin is the gold of crypto, right? Like if crypto is going up, if Ethereum's going up, Solana's going up, or Chainlink, anything like that is going up, Bitcoin is most likely going to go up. But obviously we saw last Friday which ones went down the most. It was not Bitcoin. It was Trump coin, Melanie coin, Melina coin. I apologize. I can't
Melania.
remember the first lady. Melania. Yeah, I can't remember the first lady's name off the top of my head. But everyone's fleeing those. And guess where they're going to rotate to if they want to stay in crypto? They're gonna buy Bitcoin because they know that is the least volatile asset aside from stablecoin. And even if the Ethereum network is used for stablecoins or the Solana network, whatever it is, Bitcoin is still going to be a winner of all that. Like you have the original, the OG of crypto as Bitcoin. Like it's always going to be that way. So I wonder what your thoughts are in terms of implementing, like instead of using like wires, you use stable coins to means the transfer. Do you think that that's something that might happen like in the near term future? And like what network do you think that would happen on?
I mean, right now it looks like it's going to happen on primarily Ethereum, but I do think Solana has some real validity to it. And I think that's another reason why you're seeing Bitcoin kind of trade sideways to down over the last couple months is, stable coins, ironically, is going to be like a last final hurrah of like a buyer of US Treasury assets, right? Because a lot of these stable coins have to be backed by US Treasuries and T-bills. So it's actually creating a little bit of a boost in demand. I don't think we're going to see people in the US necessarily use it in as big of an adoption on a day-to-day basis, but I think you're going to see it in the emerging market economy. They'll take such a haircut to get their assets out of their currency and into the US dollar. For them to do that instantly online through stablecoins, I think you're going to see a lot of more micro banking in the US dollar via stablecoins around the rest of the world. And that's like a last ditch effort to create a new buyer of US based currencies. But I think in the US, you'll end up seeing the big institutions take it over, right? Like who came to market first in the ETF space? BlackRock, right? Do you know how many firms filed before BlackRock? like a lot, a whole lot filed for years before BlackRock, but BlackRock was there on day one. And it's the same thing on stable coins. Same thing as, everyone talks about, oh, are stocks going to be traded on a blockchain? Like, yes, they are, but guess whose blockchain it's going to be? It's going to be Nasdaq's blockchain. It's going to be BlackRock's blockchain. Like, the big incumbents are not going to give up their position easy. And because there's so much like top-down approval needed, it's likely that it's going to still come within the system, and blockchain's application, at least in the US, will be kind of derived out of a lot of these big financial institutions. But the adoption of stablecoins, we think, especially in the emerging market world, when all their government is trying to do is not let them buy dollars, right? This is a very easy way for them to buy dollars.
Yeah, I mean, I invest a lot in Latin American companies, especially. I do consider that emerging markets as well, and even in some recent earning calls, especially with D-Local with Pedro Arndt, he was starting to discuss stablecoins. And for some of the audience who don't know, D-Local is basically back-end software and the back-end protocols for pretty much a lot of international transactions that occur within Latin America to other regions of the entire world. So they're obviously profiting a lot from all these exchange fees with their take rates. But you can imagine, if they were to convert a lot of their clients to a stable coin and using that for a lot of transactions, and they were going to build their platform centered around that, they could take advantage of whatever margins there would be in terms of take rates, even if it is a much cheaper platform. Like, no one's ever going to like make it free. And if they do, I would really question like how secure it is, because that's the whole reason why you go to these companies, for the security. But I personally think that once you get the large institutions on board, you already have Visa talking about it, MasterCard talking about a lot of these other banks, then that's when it'll start to happen. But obviously Bitcoin, Ethereum are not going to wait until that happens to start shooting up. That's happening right now as we speak, because it's becoming more a reality versus a dream. And my question to you is, has the president of El Salvador ever tapped you on the shoulder? It's like, hey, I want to buy some of your ETF.
Oh gosh,
we're running low on supply over here. Let's just start to buy some BCDG.
He is not. We have definitely retweeted his tweets as advertisement, gotten it approved by compliance, and used his tweets as advertisement. But anything is possible. When I was trying to use the phrase "a currency debasement hedge" in October and November, first retail was like, "Huh." Secondly, compliance was like, "No way, you can't claim that these are currency debasement hedge." And today, it's like all I have to do is show them the newspaper over the last 3 weeks, and everyone's saying, this is how you protect against currency debasement. So I think everything evolves so quick. I think you're going to start seeing, as you alluded to earlier, when we first came up with this, people were saying, why Bitcoin and gold? One's crypto, one's a precious metal. Bitcoin has always been more like gold in our eyes, right? So it's a store value. The rest of the crypto space is a technology platform. I mean, we even have a filing. We can't go into great detail. That'll come out in early December. That's 2x baskets of crypto, and we have one that excludes Bitcoin. So you have a 2x alt season ETF coming out that's going to be index basket of Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and Cardano. And I think honestly that's how the institutional world does allocate to this space. They don't want to choose the best. They want to just choose an index and allocate to it. So I do think you're going to see continued adoption from the institutional world in all of these things. In terms of like, well, what does gold have left, right? The beauty of this ETF, look, if you're a conservative investor, you don't need leverage, right? You can just do a little bit of Bitcoin, you can do a little bit of gold in your portfolio. But if you have over 70% of your assets in equities, you run into a problem of there's not enough room in your portfolio for true diversification, right? Especially if you're at 80, 85%. And that's where this portable alpha stack of Bitcoin and gold really comes in handy. Gold doesn't have to outperform Bitcoin. It doesn't have to hit 30% returns a year. It just has to outpace the cost of financing, call it like 4.25%, right? So as long as gold is chugging along at about like 5% a year, it's going to be accretive to this vehicle instead of just having Bitcoin by itself.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so I pulled it up here, quantifyfunds.com, and I just went ahead and jumped into the BTGD. Just the high level picture of this: 100% Bitcoin, 100% gold. Maybe if somebody is out there, they're interested in this, ticker symbol BTGD. You guys are basically doing 2x leverage, but it's 100% gold and 100% Bitcoin. Is that correct?
Yeah, this is a process that's been around for a long time. It's not new. PIMCO started it in, I think, about the 90s. They have a PIMCO Stock Plus fund, but guess what? When you leverage two things on top of each other instead of one thing, if those two things have diversification benefits, it does really good things for your portfolio. If you click on the case for Bitcoin and gold paper just above there, it's a little bit dated, but you can see in this risk reward chart, the dark greens are gold and 2 times gold. The yellows are Bitcoin and 2 times Bitcoin. BTGD has almost the same amount of risk as just IBIT alone. And that specifically is because these two assets are uncorrelated, and just doing very basic rebalancing between the two of them adds a lot of value where you're getting more return than an IBIT, but just a fraction of additional risk for it.
That's a really good chart. That's really interesting. That you see how well these are lined up going across this bottom axis here. How well these are lined up with just IBIT alone. It's just, I mean, that's a tick above it. Look at Misty all the way up here, and MSTX way over here.
Yeah. Sometimes your leverage is not always good, but if you do it in a diversified fashion and there's some form of rebalancing, and look, if you held a leverage ETF and you rebalance it all the time, you can recreate your 2x, but it's on you, the allocator, to rebalance it 2 to 4 times a week to get back to your intended leverage target. And we wanted to build an allocator's tool set to have a little bit of leverage in your portfolio in a way that a lot of the chaos and rebalancing gets done within the vehicle. You know, Bitcoin was falling in tariff tantrum. Guess what? We were trimming gold and buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin ran up, trimming Bitcoin and buying gold. Gold's ran up now. We're trimming gold and adding to Bitcoin. We're doing it for you within that fund. And they're hard trades to do. Like, they're emotional trades to do. Today's actually our 1-year anniversary right on close, which is really exciting. So we are 27 minutes away officially from closing in on our first 1 year. And we should close right around about $140 million. Honestly, often, very much thanks to you guys and the whole network at Wolf. You guys were with us from day one, as you alluded to. I think Gav bought us on launch day. He might be our one investor with the highest return of
I think Evan did as well. I think they both dipped into it that day.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I bought some back then too. I was on that space when it launched. I bought some back then. I ended up like restructuring and selling some somewhere up here. But I remember making like a 50% return almost immediately. Like this right here. Like, yeah, it was in the 20s. It went to over 30. Yeah, that tracks in my head. Beautiful.
And just like then, people were saying, "Oh, did we miss this?" Like, you look at the chart from then to now, like, you didn't miss it. It's still just scarcity. I know it feels scary to buy assets near or at an all-time high, but just think about the math. There's going to be more supply of dollars and a smaller growth of supply in assets such as Bitcoin and gold. And that's where it deviates from the rest of the crypto world. Like, I think there's a lot of value in Ethereum and Solana and silver and other precious metals, et cetera, but they're not true stores of value. The more they get used in technology and platforms, the more they get tied to GDP growth, the less of a pure store of value it is. And so I've always wanted to bucket the world as, Ethereum, Solana are tech plays in the crypto space. Silver is kind of becoming a tech play in the space where it's being used a lot in smartphones, et cetera. But gold is that, like, gold and Bitcoin are those true stalwart store values. And you've seen lots of things related to gold do really well. You've seen precious metals, mining companies do really well this year. But you better believe when there is some real volatility, you want to be in the actual asset itself and not the derivative asset. I mean, this thing has, a standard deviation of over 50. Like, that is more than enough volatility in your portfolio to not have to layer on additional risk in that portfolio with mining companies and this and that. So I think there's a place for your portfolio for that. But I think this is totally separate from that as like the ultimate store of value.
Yeah, I love that piece. Just kind of coming high level here. We've gone through a lot of different points, but if you had to just kind of bullet out, why is gold? Because a lot of people, you mentioned this, a lot of people are looking at this chart going, how do I buy this chart? How do I get into this? But you've laid out a few reasons why this could just be the beginning. What's kind of the bullet like summary of that, for somebody sitting out there, just to kind of summarize all these great thoughts that we've had?
Yeah. It will be supply constrained. So even if it's slightly overvalued today, all you have to do is wait, and 6 months later, there's an increase in other assets introduced to the world, and gold supply is increased at a much smaller rate. The entire world is benchmarked to 60-40 on the institutional side. that 40 is fundamentally flawed. And we believe that the benchmarks and the allocators are going to move away from just 10 to 20 year debt as their safety asset. So as they start to introduce a 5-10% weighting into precious metals or gold within their benchmark, their small allocation goes from an overweight to an underweight really quickly. Central banks are buying 1/3 of all gold mined, and that number appears to only be increasing. We could get to a point where half of the gold that's mined each year is being bought by central banks. I posted that chart we looked at, the Bloomberg chart, on Twitter, and I had the quote like, "What do they know?" Right? Well, why are all these central banks dropping dollars and acquiring gold at an alarming pace? That curve up does not look to be slowing down at any point. So they're the first to do it, and they're the ones who, if you're a central bank, your goal is to hold assets in the countries that you trade and you get commodities for. So if you have a trading partner that sends you oil, and you have another trading partner that sends you corn, you want some exposure to their currencies, because if your currency loses value, well, at least you can still provide and purchase energy and food to your economy, right? That makes a whole lot of sense. But we took that and we ran with it, and we destroyed the value of our currencies to the point where they're saying, I don't even want that hedge anymore. I just want gold, because that's just a losing bet. And it's just amazing that those central banks came to that conclusion. And again, it's only a small portion. We've seen gold as high as 70% of their portfolio. We're rounding right around 20% right now. There's still a long way to go on that side. And in the institutional side, choosing to have a little bit less of their safety assets in fixed income and a little bit more in, let's call it like a store of value category that probably includes both Bitcoin and gold. So the big money, the central banks, the governments, they are seeing this problem and they're writing on the wall. They're the source of this problem, and instead of fixing the problem, they're saying, no, let's just buy
fueling
gold.
the fire.
Yeah, exactly.
So it just, and you don't have to make any predictions here, but when I look at this gold breakout just on the chart, I mean, we came up here and a lot of people were saying, hey, it needs to pull. I mean, you saw this move and people said it needs to pull back. It didn't pull back. It went sideways like this. And what you were just saying sounds like if this move at some point, we maybe see a similar thing. Maybe we get up here and we top out for a few months and just go sideways though. And it seems like if I think about that, some of these high flying stocks, obviously they'll do this and then do something like that. But it seems like gold, the way I just listened to you say that, it made me think that it's probably more probable that we do something like this.
Yeah, what's the short-term bear case? Like we clean up our balance sheet, or Europe cleans up their balance sheet, or China cleans up their balance sheet. Like, just doesn't really seem feasible. There's really no path to it. So I completely agree with that. You're seeing a lot more volatility in gold on the upside than the downside, and there will be layers and points of sideways where you're kind of building up that coil for a next leg on the upside. And during that period, all central banks are just printing. And so where do they put all those dollars, right? They have to continue to find places to allocate it. And that's the beauty of this ETF is, especially this year, you've seen Bitcoin and gold kind of take turns running. It's like, okay, tag, you're it. Now, like, gold will pass the baton over to Bitcoin. It'll trade sideways for a little while, and Bitcoin will go on a nice tear. And so you can very easily, if you don't need leverage in your portfolio, rebalance these two assets yourself. But we find that for allocators who have 70, 80, 90% of their assets in equities, they almost fear gold as not enough of a return generator. Right? They're like, well, this is going to slow down my pace of wealth accumulation. Like, that's not the case if it's leveraged on top of Bitcoin.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, just a little kind of full circle thing here. BTGD, David, appreciate you coming on today. BTGD, for those that are in the audience and want to check this thing out, I just want to kind of finish up here with maybe some of the mechanics of this. You guys are holding IBIT in here. I see you've got some other pieces in here. What are you holding, and then how does that rebalancing work? When gold does what it's doing right now and Bitcoin's consolidating, how does the rebalancing piece work? And I know you've got a team of professionals over there that are managing this for us, which I love that piece. I don't have to think about, okay, am I 60%, 40? Let the pros handle it.
So we generally rebalance. It is an active fund. We are not trying to outperform the benchmark of Bitcoin and gold. We're trying to do it in a cost-effective, tax-efficient manner. You also, when you're rebalancing between two uncorrelated assets, it's good to let them run a little bit. So we tend to try to rebalance on about a 3 to 5 or 6% drift between these two assets. And then we'll also rebalance when we get creates in. So that ends up being right around like 3 trades a week. And we get most of our leverage from futures. That's important because this is not a margined account, right? Like we're not going to get some bank calls and be like, you're getting margin called right now. So we're getting our leverage through futures, which is one of the most cost-effective forms of leverage on this planet. There's so many leverage ETFs out there, and some of them have very cost-effective forms of financing, and some of them are really eclectic baskets of stocks or single stocks that are trading swaps with a lot of banks. And the financing costs can jump 10% in one day and then drop 10% the next day. You don't really know what you're getting in that context. So we wanted to bring something to the market that was using institutional quality leverage rates here. And you're seeing some of the Bitcoin and gold positions there because that helps us trade between the two to get back to 100% in a very cost-effective manner. We can't have too much of the individual stocks because at a certain point you put the fund in a situation where they can break their RIC status if too much of the returns come from any one of those assets. So it's a little bit of a balancing act on the regulatory side. There's more hurdles than that on what our portfolio has to look like on quarterly end. There's a lot of things that go behind the scenes to put together what seems like a very basic portfolio of like, oh, it's just Bitcoin and gold. But honestly, that's what we wanted to do. I think as a new issuer, I've been in the ETF industry for 20 years with title for 11 years. We didn't want to bring to market what I like to call a trust me product of like, you have to think I'm a genius to do this product right. It's like, no, this is just a structurally sound constructed product. And that's what we feel we've done here so far.
I love that. And the rebalancing, how often is the rebalancing happening? And do you like necessarily always go back to 50-50 exposure? How often do you do that? Because if like gold's breaking out, Bitcoin's consolidating, are you like, well, we have to rebalance, or hey, let's leave a little bit more on the gold side right now, or you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. If there's like a 1% drift between those two assets, we usually won't rebalance. But if it gets to like 3 to 5%, that's when we'll rebalance. And so either a 3 to 5% drift or creates tends to put us in a situation where we trade about 3 days a week. Every time we trade, we do get back to pretty close to just 100 and 100. So not trying to make any judgment calls between the two, just harvesting the volatility between the two. Because again, if you look long-term, scarcity in 5-10 years, I think both these assets are going to be significantly higher priced than you see today. And so you don't want to lose fact of the easy trade of just own both of these. And I actually think their correlation in 10 years will be much less beneficial than it is today. Because I think once the world views them both as store of values, then they'll start trading better. But guess what? That diversification between the two is an opportunity, as you saw in the risk reward chart. That's an opportunity to get a lot of return with not as much risk, because the world does not yet view these as the same assets. And there's a lot of benefit in rebalancing between that. So we do let it drift a little bit, as you alluded to, when gold runs, but you don't want to let it drift too much, because then then you're kind of just betting on one side of the market, instead of just providing this vehicle. And again, as you've seen from the returns here, you don't need to have some crazy quant strategy signaling in and out of Bitcoin or gold. Just need old-fashioned blocking and tackling or rebalancing.
I like that, David. Appreciate it. Jordan, any thoughts, questions that you want to throw in here before we wrap up with David?
No other thoughts from me, but David, just appreciate you coming on. I know the trading audience appreciates it, and we've been watching BTGD for a while now, and definitely going to continue. And any big dips we get in the market, I know I'm going to be taking advantage of it. But yeah, we'll let her fly and see where this thing wants to go next. But just again, appreciate you coming on and educating all of us. It means a lot.
Of course. No, I appreciate it. And I appreciate all of your support that you guys have shown me from day one. You guys are phenomenal at what you do. So your audience is very lucky to have your expertise here, and I'm happy to be a part of it. And more to come. We have a number of new launches and exciting categories coming towards year end. So some fun things we'll be updating you guys on that.
Yeah, great stuff. Make sure you guys in the audience, you give Quantify Funds a follow over on X. I know we're on YouTube right now, but get over on X and give them a follow. There's always news and new stuff dropping if you want to stay up to date with everything. But yeah, pleasure. Great conversation.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks, David. Cheers. Have a great rest of your afternoon.
I appreciate that.
We're going to move back over to the markets here a little bit for the last 15 minutes. We're getting close to the MOC, and we'll see how we end up closing this day right here. Boy, that was a great conversation. There's so much going on with gold. So many people asking about gold. So that was a real treat to have David come on there. So really, really appreciate his time. Quantify Funds doing great things. I tell you what, Jordan, I take any profits from the market. I almost rather put them in gold and Bitcoin than keep them in cash. It's just the way the printer stuff's going.
I agree.
Goodness gracious.
It's tough when you look at the chart and you're like, geez, if you're sitting back just earning 5% and you see all these assets just flying, it's hard to sit back and not be taking risk in any of this stuff, to be honest.
All right. So I talked about earlier on NQ that we made that big move and we did get right up to that 950 and rejected. And look, the box right here is still holding.
Yes, she is.
Holding. So we'll see what happens here going into the end of the day. I think
sorry, I got the clacky keyboard out.
You're good. I think I'm probably done for the day. I'm kind of watching to see here. I wouldn't be surprised. Look at your daily. Let me get back to the daily charts here. We want to close right here above the daily 9 and the 20 SMA. That's what we really want on NASDAQ. Daily 9 right here on SPY. I mean, literally looking like we're going to close right here. So very interesting. IWM's got a nice day. What's Microsoft just had a pullback. We had a little volume come in when it sold off right there, but there wasn't really any true headlines that I thought made any sense for that actual sell-off. It just kind of seemed like it ran out of steam and it was shooting back down for a second. I did put a poll in the chat. More than half of the people that voted own Bitcoin, gold, or both. That was pretty interesting.
Let's go. Yeah, we're just hanging out, aren't we? Not doing much here. Well, we got MOC about to come out. Dang, that time flew by with David. It's nice to have those conversations, though. Not much has happened anyway, so glad we did that. How's the audience feeling right now? Ready to wrap up this beautiful day. Going into tomorrow, by the way, just some things I'm looking at. Again, me and Emp went over some charts of the past, kind of looking similar of, how we are right now. And that has resulted in higher. So I won't be surprised if we want to go higher, but I also can't ignore us respecting this daily imbalance, which if that continues, I'm going to have to stay a little bit more bearish here. But I know exactly what I need to see for that to change. And that's really going to be over that 25,160 for NQ. If we're trading back over that, I don't have much reason to be bearish anymore. So again, we've seen this story before where it might look like a bearish setup and we end up just going right back to all-time highs. That could be another one of these for sure. If not, though, and we respect this area, I'm going to start to think into tomorrow and, Friday, we trade towards New York session lows from, what is this, yesterday? And then maybe we end up getting that gap fill after all. But again, it's tough with this market. This market loves to just continue high. So that's where you got to have your lines in the sand. That's why I give both scenarios. It's either, we get back over this 160 and I'm confident we're in for all-time highs, or we don't. And if that's not happening, I have to continue to think we try and trade towards these session lows from yesterday. So kind of my thoughts going into tomorrow.
I really want us to close above right here.
Yeah. I need to change my chart. It's funny. I have like multiple prop firms open always. And like I have Alpha Futures and then like Tradify, which by the way, guys, if you don't know, you can use code WOLF at both of those prop firms and save some money if you guys are buying some new accounts. But I have like Tradify. I switched all my colors on, and then Alpha Futures, I never switched all my colors on. So it's just like a completely different color chart. So I'm like spending 5 minutes and changing that real quick.
Yeah, I had to do that the other day with my Tradify.
I just get lazy. I like start a new. If I start using like another prop firm, I just get lazy. Like, and it's funny. I've used Alpha for a while. I just have never changed it because I.
Yeah, I didn't even on Tradify. I just left it. I just said, okay, whatever. Like,
I know
because I usually have both of them open, and then I have my main charts open anyway. I pretty much only execute on the actual Project X thing anyway. So
yeah, me too.
I do all my charting and stuff here.
Exactly. That's why I didn't care
ES
so much
really
because I'm
needs to
not
hold right
on
here.
this chart all day. So I'm like, oh, whatever, I'll leave it. But I'm annoyed with it now. I'm gonna change it. Time to change.
I think we can hold right here.
Hold it. Hold it.
Unless we get a true social post, I think we can hold.
Yeah, they love to drop those on us.
Well, it's funny. As soon as I thought about that, I looked over.
Don't tell me.
I don't want ES really to close under 6,700, and I really want NQ back up like here, a little bit higher than here. Where is? Yeah, as long as we close over 601 on QQQ, I think it's fine. SPY, I would prefer it a little bit higher, but not the worst thing I've ever seen. But gold got popping during our conversation.
Let's go.
Did you see it?
I know, intraday. Getting out of that range a little bit. Trying to. Not bad.
NVDA is going to close under yesterday's low.
Ooh.
Netflix just made a new low of day. It's right at that 1200 though. Look at Netflix on the daily, dude. This is like, yeah, are you gonna hold?
I know it doesn't.
Are you gonna make a flag?
It's been relatively weak too. Just hasn't.
Yeah, it popped up kind of nicely the last few days. Could be a little flag here if this is the low. There's QQQ. See if it flips over here in 5 seconds. Pop it back up. Pop it back up. What happened? I thought Rizzo fell asleep, honestly.
Uh-oh. Rizzo, stay alive.
I was here. Barely.
Stay alive, brother. You bidding this up right now?
Nope.
Where are you looking? Where are you looking if we get some overnight action, Rizzo? Where are you looking to bid this up?
I don't really like it anywhere.
It's tough. We might. I mean, I'm like, kind of thinking we start to trade to yesterday's low, but I might be
right
wrong.
Here needs to hold these 830s, or otherwise this thing's done. Only thing I'm in near term now are just SPY puts for Friday.
Oh my God, this guy! I tell you what.
It gets back over the level, I'll get long. It'll be a hedge for me, but Attack the 840s.
Yeah, bounce it back to 900.
1.4 billion sell side.
Going.
Push back up to 900. Come on. Go back. Close over 900. Come on. Push, 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 push. Do it.
Do it.
Do I have enough fibs on this chart now? When we get in our range, this is always fun. We held 850. Back in the box.
Didn't I say we risk just being range bound rest of the day, 830s to 960?
Yeah. Remember the box that I drew? Look, I drew this box.
I can't be bullish unless we're above that
Well,
level above us, though.
no, we're gonna close back over 900. We're gonna get 917 right here on this push into the close. 2 minutes left. Look at this thing go. Look at it go.
I'm uber bullish with you. Just until that, I have to be flat.
Oh, ye of little faith! I swear, this guy. Start singing Christmas.
I only
songs
grabbed
this
the
guy.
puts because I thought I was going to press more longs tonight. It might be the case.
Ye of little faith.
Oh, come, all ye faithful.
Imp, you like my video of splitting the Red Sea with Moses?
I don't think I saw that one yet.
You didn't see this one yet? Hold on.
Dude.
Hold on, I got you.
Look at this. So they're about to get a 40-point long right here. Go, 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 go.
Go, baby, go.
All right, there's first target, 908. Dude, what if they shoot this thing all the way to 950? Rizzo, squeeze it. Yes. Oh, what a long.
You can take it back over the level. I'll get involved after. How about that?
I got to do the bitch word. Oh, go, baby, go. Squeeze. Go over 920. It's going to 950. Go, 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 go. Look at that. I sat there and talked about gold and Bitcoin. Very useful conversation for an hour or 45 minutes. And then I just get a 50-point long. Keep going. Oh, was that the bell?
That was the bell.
It's the close.
Hold on. We're at VWAP. All right. I'll take a turn.
Oh, yes. Looks good. Can just stay above this.
All right. I closed it. Look what we closed above. All right. I got to get over to stocks and spaces, but look at this.
Yep.
50-day, every moving average, we closed above on SPY and QQQ.
Might have to get my longs going already.
I already have them. Loser. All right. Jordan, do you have control of this?
Yeah, I got control. I'll wrap it up.
I gotta drop off here.
You're good. No worries. Guys, a wonderful day. Always a great day on the stream, on Spaces. We'll be back tomorrow. I think we're going to do, what's the calendar look like? We'll probably hop on stream for at least Power Hour tomorrow. I think we got to do a little co-host in action until like 3 p.m. So we'll probably start the stream around then tomorrow. But we'll be on stream. We'll wrap up the back half of the day on stream tomorrow. We'll see what the Thursday has to hold. I know Rizzo's feeling a little long into tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. Again, it's all about that daily imbalance for me. If we end up running through that, cool. I'm back to all-time high Jordy. And if not, I want to see yesterday's lows. And yeah, that's what I got. So everybody enjoy the day. Make sure you're liking the stream, subscribing to the channel. We're doing more streams, and it seems like you guys like it, so we're going to keep doing them more. And yeah, we'll see you guys bright and early in the morning for the Thirsty Thursday. So enjoy the night, y'all. Peace out. We'll see you tomorrow.